A nuclear bomb detonates in the Airport Express station at Hong Kong International Airport. The explosion ripples through the terminals, killing everyone on site. Chep Lap Kok, the island location of the airport, is left in ruins. The fallout from the bomb means the immediate area is now no longer habitable for decades. That's how Shockwave 2 begins, with one of the most massive explosions you've ever seen in Hong Kong cinema. Does it keep it up for the remaining 2 hours? Hi, I'm the Artie Dance from Asian Film Fans, and welcome to this review of the Hong Kong action thriller Shockwave 2. Hun Xing Feng is an elite member of the EOD, the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Bureau of the Hong Kong Police Department. His specialty is disarming bombs, and within the first 20 minutes, we get to see a repeat of the grenade disarmament from part 1, as well as a rather complex bomb setup in an apartment that ties 2 lovers together. It's at this scene where tragedy occurs for Poon. As he leaves the apartment, he hears the cries of a cat trapped in a microwave. Being a good guy, he releases the cat, but doesn't check that the microwave was booby-trapped. The resulting explosion knocking him several floors below with the loss of his left leg. Through intense therapy and learning to walk again using his new prosthetic, Poon recovers and is ready to return to his role in the EOD. But he's rejected, and this causes a downward spiral for his life. His resentment towards his superiors results in him leaving the force. But Poon gets caught up with Vendetta, a dark web group of radicals whose purpose is to recruit disenfranchised individuals. And these guys have a massive plan that involves a mini-nuke called Davy Crockett and the Hong Kong International Airport. It feels like director Herman Yau has rewatched the original Shockwave movie and about a dozen or so classic Hong Kong action movies and decided he knew exactly what he needed to do to fix the mistakes of the first movie. The first movie was good, but not great. Definitely not worthy of a sequel, and this is a sequel in name only, as it appears to be the norm for Hong Kong cinema. Andy Lau and Philip Keung return, but playing different roles. Obviously, since Andy Lau's character died at the end of part 1. But part 2 ramps everything up. If you thought there wasn't enough explosions in the first movie, well, there's no less than 5 in the first 30 minutes of this one, with 4 of them being massive. At times, the first hour feels like a Jackie Chan movie. We go from one explosion to the next, to a fist fight in an elevator, to an escape off a hotel balcony, all without taking a breath. It feels very Police Story-like. But thankfully the movie remembers at around the 45-minute mark that it needs to give the audience a story. And it does this by introducing the first of 2 twists into the movie, which I won't spoil, but one of them is explicitly mentioned in the trailers. But essentially, if you like Hong Kong action movies, if you like explosions, if you like watching old guys like Andy Lau running around like he's 20-something, and you love to be entertained with a thrilling movie, then you're going to need to watch this. Some average CGI aside, the opening explosion at Hong Kong Airport is fantastic because it's unexpected so early on. You're left wondering, how could the filmmaker blow up the airport so early? What could he possibly have left in the tank for the rest of the movie? Well, the truth is quite a lot. Watching Andy Lau hop around on one leg at the hospital in the middle of a shootout with police and the Vendetta crew while engaging in some hand-to-hand combat is a scene that you need to watch to believe. Well choreographed, even if it's completely far-fetched. There are times you just don't know whose side you should be supporting. It's great. Speaking of the one leg, there are a lot of nice touches in the film where the director has clearly tried to ensure the audience remembers that Poon only has one leg. Scenes where Poon will be running, only to see him stumble and try to gain balance on his leg, are a nice touch for an element that most directors would have overlooked unless it was vital to the scene. But it's that last 30 minutes that'll keep you gripped to your seat. From several bomb disarmings, to a shootout at Tsing Terminal, including the MTR control room, to the exciting, if ridiculous, explosion of the Tsing Ma Bridge, which geographically doesn't make sense due to the time constraints, That last 30 minutes is some of the most exciting action you've seen from Hong Kong cinema for a while, and all delivered with that usual Andy Lau face. I don't think he has too many different expressions, so it's good that he sticks with what he's good at. And for those wondering, yes, this has the same ending as part 1. Being an action movie where stuff explodes all the time means that the filmmaker has had to rely on CGI for almost everything. And while the explosions look cool, and they really do, some of the other things don't. From the opening shot of the airplane flying through the skies as it's about to land, to the underground tunnel scenes of the MTR trains, these bits scream CGI. Especially all that train bumping at the end, and even more so when the train flies out of the tunnel into Ma Wan Channel. It really doesn't look good at all. Not all the CGI is bad though. There are some awesome scenes where Hong Kong is recreated in a flat shaded map during the train sequences at the end that looks pretty cool. Another thing I wasn't a fan of was the twists in the storyline. In the end it made sense, but at times it felt like the director was trying to betray the audience with what they were seeing and learning about the characters. Also, this one's to Andy Lau. You need a few more expressions. I know you've been doing this movie thing for decades, but you only have 2 expressions in this movie, normal and angry. Not enough. And a final big thumbs down, unfortunately, goes to the film distributor, who for some reason thought that sending the Mandarin version of the movie out to an international audience was a good idea. In the end, we're left with a ton of unlip-synced dialogue thanks to the overdubbing, with Nini's character being the only one who doesn't suffer from this issue, being the token mainland actor in the movie, just like Song Jia from the first film. It's even more grating if you're a fan of the actors in this film, such as Sean Lau or Philip Keung, and you know that this is not what they sound like, especially Philip Keung. So, wrong version sent internationally aside, this is a great and exciting film. And even more exciting, Sammo Hung's son Timmy plays one of the EOD officers. If you want to see buildings blow up, if you want an intense opening and closing third of a movie, and if you want to see what Herman Yau meant to make back in 2017 when he started his shockwave journey, then add this to your watch list. My recommendation is a solid thumbs up. If you've seen it, what did you think? Thank you for watching this review. Please don't forget to press the like button and consider subscribing to support the channel.